is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. On a gorgeous day for baseball, pink is the color of choice today as we wish you a happy Mother's Day and pink out the park this afternoon. It's the Detroit Tigers and the Texas Rangers in Game 3 in this series from Comerica Park. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us. Happy Mother's Day to all of our Tigers moms out there, and a perfect time for some Mother's Day greetings.
Absolutely. I'd like to wish my mom a wonderful Mother's Day. She's out in California, and also my lovely wife and mother of my children, Adrian. She's in Arizona. Happy Mother's Day to both of you.
And to my mom, Rose, and wife, Kathy, happy Mother's Day to all of you. Now the Tigers got to get it going. They need to avoid the sweep today.
Well, offense has got to show up. The offense really has not gotten it going in the last 5 games through Texas. And also those 3 games in Cleveland. Somehow, some way, they've got to figure out a way to score early and score often and give Justin Verlander, who's on the mound today, some room, some margin for error.
All right, now one guy JV is going to have to deal with his Rougned Odor. This guy may not be very big in stature, but he carries a big bat.
You know, since he's been in that leadoff spot, and it's been about 14 games since he has been up there, he has done major damage, and he has had his way here at Comerica Park. As a matter of fact, for a little Billy Fettle, he has made Comerica Park look awfully small. He is 5 for 10. He led off yesterday's game with a big fly. He also homered against Jordan Zimmerman, the first homer Zimmerman has given up this year. But Odor, they somehow need to slow him down at the beginning of that lineup because they've got a lot of other guys in that lineup that have done a lot of damage too. But it starts with keeping him off the base paths.
It will be a challenge for JV today. Of course, he had that rocky outing his last time. I'm trying to put that thing aside and get a better outing today against a good offense.
Well, one of the things that Justin needs to do, he needs to tighten up his slider. The slider has been his go-to breaking pitch, and he hasn't had a good one lately. So one of the things that he'll need to do today is make sure he gets to a nice arm slot to bury that ball at the bottom of the strike zone. As you can see, his numbers are not Justin Verlander type numbers. The earned run average is over 6.5, but they definitely need him to go out today to pitch well.
All right, after a short break, we send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard. Coming up here today, it's a special day at the ballpark. Pick out the park, and it's Mother's Day, where today, Mom is number 1. The Tigers and Rangers coming up next. Ballpark here today. Cancer survivors and their children running out to defensive positions here as the Tigers get ready to take on the Texas Rangers in this one. It's the final game in this 3-game series. Final game of the short homestand as well for the Tigers. The Rangers starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Rougned Odor to lead things off, and he has had a marvelous series, 5 for 10, followed by Mazara and Beltre. The middle of the lineup features Fielder, Desmond, and Moreland. And the bottom three today for Jeff Bannister, Andrews, Wilson, and Delano DeShields. And they are facing Justin Verlander, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, from an offensive standpoint, the Texas Rangers came into Comerica Park struggling on the road, but they've woken up in the last couple of days. Justin simply needs to be on point with all 4 of his pitches to really slow down this offense that has had its way the last couple of days here at Comerica Park.
Well, the Tigers come in 1 game under the 500 mark at 14-15 in desperate need of a victory here as they embark on what should be a challenging road trip into Washington and then Baltimore.
And be careful with the fastballs that you throw to this guy, Odor. He does not miss fastballs. He simply punishes them.
It'll be Odor, Mazara, and Beltre as we get things started here in the first inning. The first pitch of today's ball game is low, 1 ball and no strikes.
And Verlander has a fastball that goes anywhere from 91 to 95 miles an hour. He still has the curveball. He still has a good changeup, but using his slider a lot more this year than in recent memory.
Odor has knocked in 4 in this series, and he swings and misses 1-1.
Good fastball at 91, right down the middle, thrown right by Odor. This is the first time I think I've ever seen Justin Verlander with the pants up high. Can you ever remember him having his pants up this high in any start?
Was thinking the same thing as he ran out with the pink socks today for Mother's Day. Another swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-2.
As a matter of fact, the entire infield has their socks up high, and then the outfield has their pants down low.
It's a good pickup there. Victor, by the way, playing first base today as they prepare for interleague play coming up. Here's the 1-2, and it just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Odor.
That's how you have to get Odor out. Verlander has to fade the changeup down and away, or backdoor curveball, or backdoor slider, but you've got to keep the ball down and away.
Lifted back out of play. Odor batting .292. He is their leadoff man, but he is the team leader in homers with 6. He's also tied for the team lead in RBIs with Adrian Beltre. They each have 20. Now JV again with the 2-2. High fly ball into right field, charging toward the line. Martinez. Kinsler is there as well, and it's going to be in. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Upton in left. You've got Gose in center, JD Martinez in right. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Victor Martinez making his first start at first base this year, and James McCann is the catcher this afternoon.
Here is a good-looking young player. It's Nomar Mazara, who is 2 for 9 with a couple of RBIs in the series. Mazara is off to a .323 start. Was the rookie of the month in the American League.
This cat right here just looks the part, Mario. 6 feet 4 inches, 220 pounds, with power, strong throwing arm.
And here's the scary part. He's only 21 years old, the youngest player in the major leagues. Here's the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike on Mazara.
It's one of the things that we've seen in our sport the last couple of years. We've seen an infusion of a lot of young talent.
Really in both leagues. Mazara stands 6'4", 215 out of Santo Domingo, and a wave and a miss.
It's a good pitch right there. Really, that's been a good pitch for Verlander the majority of the season. The fastball upstairs at about 94 miles an hour. It's a 4-seam fastball, and that Mazara swings right through.
Mazara was in big league camp for the first time this year. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He chased the high heat, and JV gets his first strikeout. 2 gone.
Back-to-back fastballs upstairs, and that the youngster couldn't catch up to. It's good to see Verlander coming out throwing that fastball firm at 94. He had given up quite a few first inning runs this year.
Last start he gave up 7 runs in 5 innings of work. Much better start today as Beltre stands in. Adrian Beltre, a couple of homers yesterday.
He hit those homers on back-to-back pitches. In one inning, then the next inning. He's kind of torched Tigers pitching, really. It doesn't matter which uniform he's been in either. Seattle, Boston, now Texas.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's kind of fun to see the evolution of the pink out the park here, Rod. It used to be maybe some pink wristbands. That was about it. Now we've got the socks. We've even got the accents on the uniforms in pink.
And they've got the shoes, flashy shoes, everything. Everybody's into it. It's wonderful to bring that kind of awareness to it. To look at JV's shoes now.
Here's a strike call, 1-2.
He could have wore those on Easter Sunday too.
It's funny, but we walked into the clubhouse today, and most of the players were lining their shoes up to see who had the fanciest pink shoes.
Right.
JV's got to be up there with those.
It's going to be tough to top those.
Here's the 1-2. Beltre shoots it straight back. Got to play.
And Verlander tried to climb the ladder with that fastball at 94 against Beltre, but he better get it up there because Beltre is a good fastball hitter upstairs.
Prince Fielder waiting on deck. Another terrific day for baseball here in Detroit. And time given to Beltre. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the 1-2. Little chopper to the shortstop. Iglesias has it there. That'll be a 1-2-3 for Justin Verlander. Nice start this afternoon. To lead things off for the Tigers in a scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the first. Tigers starting lineup today presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Kinsler, J.D. Martinez, and Miguel Cabrera at the top of the lineup. Miggy's had awfully good numbers against the Rangers. Victor Martinez playing first base today, then up in Castellanos, and a bottom 3 of McCann, Gose, Iglesias, and they are facing the offerings of 25-year-old Martin Perez.
And Martin comes in with a good ERA, but he's lost a couple of games. He's also been wild, 18 base on balls and just 18 strikeouts in the time he's been out there. Good fastball, gets up to 95, changeup, slider, and a pretty good curveball thrown by Perez.
So Kinsler will get it started for the Tigers, who woke up a little bit yesterday offensively, but they could not hold down this Texas offense. Rangers have won the first 2 in the series. Kinsler looks at a strike from Perez. He in 4 out of 8 in the series with a home run. He homered yesterday. And
Boy, he's on some kind of pace now. He's on pace for 34 home runs this year. The 0-1 pitch is skied in the air. Shallow center field for Delino DeShields. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Texas Rangers starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Left to right, they go Desmond, DeShields, Mazzara. And third to first, it's Beltre, Andrews, Odor, and Moreland. And Wilson is the catcher he caught on Friday as well. Brian Holiday caught yesterday.
Here is J.D. Martinez, who started red hot in the month of April, but J.D. trying to find that stroke again.
He also was very hot when Brad Ausmus first moved him to that number 2 spot in the batting order, but he has since cooled off.
J.D. had a day off a couple of days ago. Brad simply said that he noticed it during batting practice. You could just tell he needed a day off. And he really was the last regular to get a chance to get a blow. He'll get back out of play 0-2. Tigers had Upton in the 2 spot for most of April. Justin was moved down to the 5 spot, and he kind of caught fire. Bouncing ball to third, deep behind the bag, Beltre. And there are 2 gone. Well, it's a nice day at the ballpark today. The field conditions are presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 65 at game time. A little bit cloudy here this afternoon, but that's okay. The sun is peeking through the clouds.
It's a nice play by Beltre. He nearly overran that ball to the backhand and was able to field it and flip it across the diamond accurately to the first baseman Moreland. Not many in this game that are better at third base than Adrian Beltre.
No, he has not committed an error this year. Here is Cabrera. Miguel 4 for 8 in the series. 286 batting average. He's knocked in 12 this year.
I remember having a conversation with Miguel in spring training. He was kind of talking about what he thinks about in the batter's box in certain situations. And in this particular situation, he would maybe just try to hit a single, because a lot of times that's all they give him. When runners in scoring position, he expands his strikes on a drive in more runs. But one of the reasons why Miggy hits 300 is because he always takes what the defense is giving him. He never really tries to force the issue by hitting in the shifts.
Foul tip into the glove, 2-2.
They say that Perez has an outstanding changeup. Maybe not the same changeup that Cole Hamels has, but it's close. Going fastball into Miggy again here. They've done that a lot in the series. It worked the first day, but not so much yesterday.
No. Miggy had 4 hits yesterday, his second 4-hit game of the year. He had 4 in the game against Oakland earlier this season here at Comerica on the last homestand. 2-2 on Cabrera. And it missed inside, 3-2.
And Perez, Tommy John surgery about 2 years ago to the day. And some of the people that watch the Texas Rangers on a daily basis will tell you he's finally getting over the hurdle mentally of being healthy after the Tommy John surgery. Mentally, that's the toughest hurdle. Physically, guys know they're healthy, but they just, for whatever reason, they just don't want to let it go for a while.
Yeah, usually physically, you know, in about 12 months, which is typical, you'll be back from Tommy John surgery. It was that that mental part of just letting it go again. Full count on Cabrera. And he tried to hold up but fouled it off. So Miggy's still alive. Should he reach? Victor Martinez waiting on deck.
And Victor getting a nice long look at what Mr. Perez is featuring. Miggy about to see his 9th pitch of this at bat.
Bouncer right back to the mound and speared there by Perez, and he'll have himself a 1-2-3 inning. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. And by Dodge. Come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover events. Top two now here at the ballpark. Tigers and Rangers in the final game of the series, and Prince Fielder will get things started for Texas. Fielder, Desmond, and Moreland facing Justin Verlander. Justin had a 1-2-3 first with a strikeout. It's been a rough series for Prince Fielder. He is 0 for 8.
He's had somewhat of a rough year. His batting average is under the Mendoza line. It sits at 198, but he has driven in 18 runs, so he's making the best of all the hits that he's been getting.
Here's the 0-1. The average now for Prince has dipped below 200 at 198.
And a real nice curveball there thrown by Justin Verlander. And a backdoor curveball. Let's see if he'll elevate the fastball here to try to throw one by Prince as we get a look at that last bender. Whoa, right off the outside corner.
Threw another breaking ball. This one dipped low, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He slowed that one down a little bit. The previous breaking ball was about 81 miles an hour. That time he went down to 79, but a nice take by Prince Fielder.
Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fielder in his 2 years with the Tigers hit 55 home runs combined those 2 seasons. And then it was dealt away to the Rangers. In return, the Tigers got Ian Kinsler. Here's the 2-2 offering. Low, and now all of a sudden the count has gone full at 3-2.
Verlander has 4 different pitches, and he's not afraid to throw any of those in this particular count. He's got the curve, he's got the slider, he has a changeup, and of course he has that 4-seam fastball. Confidence in all 4 of them.
McCann flashing signs here this afternoon.
And McCann wanted the fastball, but Verlander, at least that time, wanted the curveball. We'll see what he shakes to this particular pitch.
Here again is the 3-2. And it's fouled straight back.
Here's the pitch usage of Verlander this year. 4-seam fastball about 60% of the time, which is up from last year. 17% with the curveball, the slider, and then the changeup.
Fielder hanging in there. He's been in a homer drought. Fielder this year has but 2 home runs. His last one came on the 19th of April. "17 games without a long ball for Fielder." Swing and a miss. Down he goes. JB finally took care of
it. It's a real nice pitch here thrown by Verlander. He finally went to the changeup. It's a circle changeup, faded beautifully down and away from Prince Fielder. That is one outstanding pitch in that count. 3-2.
Here is Ian Desmond with 1 out.
Ian Desmond loves to swing at the first pitch. He has done it a bunch in the series.
He'll do it again. Bounce it toward third on the backhand. Castellanos. 2 down. By the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day.
I was kind of looking at this offense before the game when I was doing some prep work, Mario, and this is a dangerous offense. I mean, when you look at Odor and Mazzara, Beltre, Fielder, Desmond, and then you have Moreland, they got 5 or 6 guys that had the potential to hit 20 home runs. Their first 6.
Shin-Soo Choo currently on the disabled list, so when he returns.
And Andrews is no slouch.
Yeah, pretty good.
There are 3 games over 500, a game and a half in back of Seattle as we speak. But they really haven't gotten Desmond going. Prince hasn't gotten going. We just talked about his batting average under 200. And they're going to get Yu Darvish back soon, too. They probably feel pretty good about themselves.
Mitch Moreland looks at a strike 1-1. Well, they should. I mean, the rotation, once Darvish comes back, you pair him with Cole Hamels, that's a pretty dynamic 1-2.
And you add the fact that last year at the trade deadline, they were in second place by about 7 games and made it to the postseason. So they know that they can come back.
Moreland hitting .260. And he'll look at a ball inside. 2-1 the count.
I like that location. If you're going to go in there, make sure you get it inside. If you miss off the plate in.
Moreland with 14 RBIs. He's knocked in a pair in this series. He is 2 for 8. And he swings and tips it right into the glove for strike 2.
So far, secondary pitches thrown by Justin Verlander have been pretty good. That was a slider there.
Broken bat out to short right where Kinsler is stationed. That barrel of the bat went all the way to Kinsler in right field. Another 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I can't wait to see you. I love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
And happy Mother's Day to all the Tigers moms out there today. Victor Martinez will be getting things started here for the Tigers. The Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup here. Perez against Victor Martinez. And as you can see, Victor 3 for 6. In limited duty against Mr. Perez.
A couple of extra base hits.
It'll be Victor then Upton and then Castellanos.
The one thing that Perez likes to try to do, he likes to try to get ahead with the first pitch fastballs, which allows him to get to his best pitches, which is his changeup and also his breaking ball. He likes to throw those ahead in the count.
Perez had a 1-2-3 first inning. Victor is 1 for 8 in this series. And he shoots that one back out of play, 1-2.
Tigers bats really have just been silenced in the last 5 days. 5-game losing streak. They just have not been able to do much at all. 3 games in Cleveland in the first couple of games in this particular series. Although yesterday looked like they were going to win that game. They were up by 3 runs going into the 6th.
Yeah, well, the Tigers are hitting just .203 in this series against the Rangers after the first 2 games. Really not indicative of the type of talent they have up and down in this lineup. They will be challenged going forward because they're playing in a National League park beginning tomorrow night in Washington, which means no DH. And therefore Victor getting a start at first base today. Ooh, late swing, and Victor couldn't hold up.
You don't see Victor take swings like that very often. He must have been looking for something soft and got a fastball and still tried to get to it, which is impossible. When you sit soft and you still get a fastball, you just can't swing at it, or you'll look just like Victor did right there.
First strikeout of the ball game for the left-hander Perez. Here's Justin Upton. Upton batting .239, 0 for 6 in the series. Perez at his last start reaching 96 miles an hour with his fastball. He'll miss low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And when the Tigers do get some runners on board, we might see Brad be a little bit more aggressive with the running game. Perez has already thrown a ton of double play balls.
Yeah, his sinker was really good in his last start against the Blue Jays.
And his defense has turned a lot of double plays.
A lot to be said about that because, and I think we saw that right in the Cleveland series, if you can catch it, you've got a chance to win some games. And, well, these Rangers, for the most part, have been pretty good.
Because the offense sometimes is going to go in spurts where it's not performing all that well. But if you're catching and you're pitching, you still have a chance to win some close games. And Perez, a lot of life on that fastball. That 2-seam fastball ran away from Upton at 93 miles an hour. Before Tommy John surgery, this guy was looking like he was going to be a top of the rotation kind of guy, and he can still be that. Ooh.
Strike called, and Upton is out of there.
Pinpoint control right there. We watched another left-hander a couple of days ago, Cole Hamels, do a lot of this. Fastballs inside that were either getting fouled off or pitches that weren't put in play. One of the things the Tigers have been pretty good at the last number of years that they really are not good at this year, and that's beating left-handed pitching. Their numbers against left-handed pitching this year just are not good at all.
Which is confounding when you consider the right-handed power and beef they have in their lineup. And the fact that Castellanos has gotten off to an outstanding start.
He sure has.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Perez. Here's the 0-1 to Nick. Missed inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I was talking to some Rangers people that had seen every last one of Hamels' starts since he had been acquired from the Philadelphia Phillies, and they said by far a couple of nights ago was the best they had ever seen him.
Well, Perez typically has not gotten a whole lot of run support, and Cole Hamels didn't need much in his start a couple of nights ago. But some good arms. We talk about Hamels. We talk about, and there are the numbers on Hamels. Talk about Perez, another good arm, and Darvish coming back. So the Rangers certainly have their sights set on the West, which right now is being led by the surprising Seattle Mariners.
That is a surprising group that's gotten it all together. New manager, new general manager. It helps that Robinson Cano is playing like Robinson Cano again.
Yeah, that helps. The M's 18-12. But the Rangers certainly will have their say. They are currently in second place in the West. 2-2 on Castellanos. Full count now, 3-2. Waiting on deck, James McCann. Here's the full count pitch. Lost it, ball 4. Here's the Chevy Silverado most dependable player. We're talking about Castellanos and the start he's gotten off to, Rod. How about these in his last 10 games?
472. And that BABIP stat, that's balls put in play, average 500, which is second in the major leagues as well. Hits, he's third in RBIs, 14 in his last 10 games.
Look at you getting into BABIP.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's pretty good.
He had it up there, so I had to explain it.
Here's McCann. First base runner of the ball game for either side. No balls, 1 strike on McCann, who is 0 for 3 in the series. Came off the disabled list on Tuesday and just 2 for 23 this year. Here's the 0-1. High fly ball center field. Delino DeShields is under it, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a walk, and 1 man left. The Tigers offense in the previous 6 leading up to the last 5.
Yeah, that's just not going to get it done. And we know the Tigers offense is much, much better than it has played the last week or so. So it's just very important for each guy to start to relax a little bit and not try to do more than you're capable of doing. But that's what happens when your entire team struggles offensively. Everybody tries to do a little bit too much. And in this game, when you try harder, you usually don't perform the way you're capable of performing.
Bottom 3 coming up against Verlander. It'll be Andrus, Wilson, and DeShields. Neither team with a hit so far. And Andrus takes a breaking ball strike. Elvis 2 out of 8 in the series. He's knocked in a run, batting a solid .290.
I told you a couple of days ago that Elvis uses a very heavy bat. It's a long bat as well. It's 35 inches, about 32 ounces, which is big for a guy his stature.
That one might find a hole, and it will, out of the reach of Kinsler. First hit of the ball game for either side, a single for Andrus. Here's Bobby Wilson. Wilson as a Ranger this year is 3 for 7. Up until a few days ago was a Detroit Tiger when he came back in the Brian Holiday deal. Andrus can run, although this year he is 1 for 4. He's been caught 3 times, stolen once. That's in there, a strike.
Very slow, deliberate leg kick that time by Verlander. If he does that a couple of more times, then Elvis Andrus will be able to steal his second base of the season. He was very deliberate that last time. Verlander has a very quick pickoff move. He's picked off quite a few base runners since coming to the big leagues back in 2006. James Shields, the only right-hander that's picked off more than Verlander.
Andrus stole 25 last year. He has stolen as many as 37, make it 42. 42 is his high water mark.
I wonder why he's not running much this year. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that maybe he's batting a little lower in the batting order these days and he comes up with runners on base all the time, or vice versa.
He'll draw a throw.
Well, that's one thing we're not seeing many teams do this that much. Even the Royals aren't running all that much this year.
Remember the days when Ricky Henderson used to steal 100 bags?
A year. Him and Vince Coleman.
Another bender that drops in for a strike, 1-2.
He's had an outstanding curveball today. He's used the curve more so today than the slider. Kind of depends on which kind of lineup that Verlander is going against, depending on which pitch he will use as far as his off-speed stuff is concerned.
Just a step off the bag that time. Andrus just simply turned and was diving back into the bag, got in easily. Wilson 2 for 4 with an RBI in game 1 in the series. There goes the runner, and a slicer into center field is going to drop. Andrus on his way to third, and he will pull in there standing up. It's a bloop single for Bobby Wilson. And time for a game break now. Here's Matt Shepard. Yeah, Shep, we were talking about that, thank you, before the game, that really when you look at some of these leaders, who would have predicted that Baltimore, Chicago, and Seattle would be leading their divisions right now?
Not many. I don't think anybody predicted that, but it is wonderful to see some teams that get off to good starts and their fans can stay enthused the entire year.
Here is Delino DeShields. That ball hit his bat, it appeared. Maybe not. Yeah, it hit the, looked like it hit the butt of the bat.
Oh, I thought you were asking me if he fell off his glove. Oh,
so it's 0-1. Jeff Bannister had a quick word with Chris Guccione. And they get back out of play. 0-2 now. 2 on, nobody out. Verlander has his first jam of the ball game. DeShields not a whole lot of luck in this series. 0 for 6. The 0-2. DeShields would not offer. Nice play by McCann to block it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Verlander came into this game needing just 4 strikeouts to tie Jack Morris for second all time on the Tigers strikeout list. He has recorded 2. So he's just a couple shy now of Jack for number 2 behind Mickey Lolich. Swing and a miss, and DeShields is out of there. 1 gone.
It's a big strikeout here for Justin, and now ground ball. It get you out of the inning. And a real nice slider, and down and away from DeShields.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. How about the top of the order coming into today and what they've done in this series?
They've worn out Tigers pitching. 5 homers between the 3, and they've driven in 10.
Odor, Mazzara, and Beltre have certainly been very difficult. Of course, the Rangers had the back-to-back homers to start the game yesterday.
Did you know that that was the first time in the history of the game where two players led off a game that were under the age of 23? Back-to-back home runs by two players under age 23. First time in the history of the game has been done yesterday.
Did not know that. Odor and Mazzara. We told you Mazzara is just 21 years old, and he is the youngest player in the major leagues. Nobody really talks about this guy right here, Rougned Odor.
They're going to start talking about him, because in that leadoff spot in 14 games, he has done major damage. His contact to damage ratio has simply been off the charts. And he's not looking to hit any singles either.
Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I was talking to Rich Doobie before the game today, and I was asking him about Odor. He says, well, you got to make pitches on him first of all. And we've tried to do some certain things against him, and it just hasn't really worked out. But he was hoping that Justin Verlander today and would follow the game plan that was given to him. And hopefully once they get ahead of Odor, they can put him away.
Another big swing there by Odor.
Here's the back-to-back home runs yesterday to begin the ball game. It was Odor first. He went the opposite way against the traffic. And then it was Mazzara. He went big boy territory over the out-of-town scoreboard.
Now JV again with the 1-2. Missed it high. 2-2 on Odor. Well, you said this at the top of the broadcast, and it certainly bears repeating. He has made this ballpark look very small. He has hit 3 home runs career in this park now in the last couple of years, and he came in at 444.
And the one he hit on Friday night, it's the furthest I've seen a left-hander hit one in that direction this year, 3/4 up the right field stands.
Now McCann out to chat with Verlander, who gave up singles to start the inning. 1 gone, runners at first and third. Justin had a 1-2-3 first and a 1-2-3 second. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 gone.
I know he's got 1 more out to get, but this is starting to look like Justin Verlander of old. Runner on third base, less than 2 outs. Verlander would reach back to get a little extra, as he did there on Odor with the high heater at 95 right by him.
Big out there, and now here is Nomar Mazzara.
Mazzara, very good hitter, but still real young and still will chase some pitches out of the strike zone. So if you're able to get ahead of him, that's the best way of trying to get him out. You can expand the strike zone with a variety of different pitches.
That's in there, a strike. Verlander now with his 4 strikeouts has tied Jack Morris for second all-time in the Tigers list.
And his last 2 pitches in the mid-90s. Both of them 95 miles an hour.
Mazzara fan in the first inning. Hit .324 in the month of April to win that Rookie of the Month honor. He was the Rangers minor league player of the year last season, and here he is now in the big leagues. He'll shoot that one in the air toward right center field. It is sinking, and it's going to be caught on the run by Martinez. JV pitching out of a jam. Bottom of the third here at Comerica Park, and see the Tigers play the Minnesota Twins May 16 through 18. And get 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and drinks for as low as $16 per person with the weekday value pack. Visit tigers.com/value or call 866-66-TIGER. Here's Anthony Ghost to get it started for Detroit. It'll be Ghost, Iglesias, and then back up top for Kinsler. Not a whole lot shaken so far against the left-hander Martin Perez. Perez issuing a walk to Castellanos in the second, but that's it. Ghost trying to drop down a bunt, strike one.
If you're Ghost and you're going to bunt, the one thing you have to do is while you're in that batter's box, you have to slow your feet down and get the ball down before you run. His feet were way too busy, therefore he bunted right through that baseball.
Swing and a miss, and now it's 0-2.
And Perez has come in today with pinpoint control. He is 7 of 8 in first pitch strikes. And we told you coming in that he had struggled with his command. Not so much today.
On the outside corner, strike 3, and Ghost on 3 pitches is punched out of there. 3 strikeouts now for Martin Perez.
Bobby Wilson wanted this ball up in the strike zone, but it was down in the strike zone, but Ghost just watched it go by. Ghost had a look as if maybe he thought the ball was off the plate outside.
Mr. Foxtrack says it was a strike. .35 now for Perez. Ball 1 to Iglesias. A couple of guys in the lineup, Rod, that were red hot in the month of April. JD and Iglesias, and both have slowed considerably.
They really have. Part of the ebbs and flows of a major league season, but collectively you're just hoping that you can keep a couple of guys afloat while some of the guys struggle. That way you can still win some games, still manufacture some runs. But it'd be nice to see both guys get back on track.
Yeah, when you use the term manufacture, that certainly applies to Iglesias with his speed and his ability to handle the bat. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jose.
Iglesias hit .300 last year, even though he missed the final month of the season, and we know the kind of damage that JD Martinez did.
Back up the middle on the ground. On the backhand there, Odor. 2 gone. Time now for the T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. Ian Kinsler. Well, look at some of the numbers now for Kinsler. 190 home runs. He's got his 200 stolen base the other day, and he's on pace to become the 7th fastest to reach those plateaus. Homers, runs, and stolen bases, and he just gets it done quietly day in and day out.
He is a really good ball player that brings that lunch pail to work every day.
And he's got the Tigers' first hit.
And he always comes to beat you. Does not surprise me at all that he has put up the kind of numbers that he has put up in his career. Look at the list of guys that he would join.
Yeah, those guys are pretty good.
He would be the only infielder too. Everybody else outfielders. A-Rod's on that list. Shortstop, third baseman. Most of the other guys power hitters that play the outfield.
Now JD Martinez. JD grounded out to the third baseman Beltre his first time. Kinsler has stolen 3 times this year. He's been caught once. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Talked about Verlander and his fastball in the mid-90s. Perez has had a little giddy up on his heater as well today. He's been up to 94. And of the 42 pitches that he's thrown so far today, 55% have been either 4-seam fastball or 2-seamer.
Mentioned that in his last start he reached 96 against the Blue Jays. And that certainly is bringing it from left side.
And that's a tough place to pitch in. That ballpark against that lineup.
That'll dive inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, if you're JD, you know pretty much you're going to get something to hit here. And Miguel Cabrera's had a real nice series against Texas. He's punished Texas pitching in his career. So if you're a JD, get ready to hit.
Tigers had just 2 hits in the opening game of the series against the Rangers. Woke up a little bit yesterday, but still lost. Perez keeping a very close eye on Kinsler. Three and 1 now on JD Martinez. Cabrera waiting on deck. Three and 2 on Martinez. JD now trying to snap an 0 for 14. This would be a nice spot. Little gap shot here. Get the Tigers a run. Kinsler will be on the move with 2 outs. And another foul back out of play. 3-2 the count stays. Martin Perez coming in against the Tigers had an ERA of 9.53 in 3 appearances. So in the past they have had their way with Perez. 12 runs in a little over 11 innings. Fly ball right field, slicing toward the corner. Mazzara is on the move, but it's going to land foul. Well, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Pretty good battle going on here. This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Sun is trying its best to fight through the clouds today.
Nice crowd here today.
Yeah, great crowd.
Place is packed.
Again, the 3-2. And he takes a walk.
Where was that?
I think JD thought he was going to get rung up.
Where was it?
And Chris Guccione says take your base.
Bobby Wilson held it right there as well for the umpire to take a look at it. I guess it was inside. He pulled it back over the dish.
Now there you go. There's your Fox Tracks.
JD wasn't sure though.
No, he was just standing there. You going to call me out or not? And that look on Jeff Bannister's face says, nah, I didn't like that call. Now Perez has to deal with Miguel Cabrera. Miggy hit a ball right back to the mound his first time up. First real threat of the ball game for the Tigers. And Cabrera steps away from ball 1.
Runners in scoring position. Perez likes to go to his off-speed stuff. And that first pitch, a breaking ball to Miguel that he missed with. And now they're going to talk about it a little bit. The pitching coach, Doug Brocail, and also Bobby Wilson, as how they want to try to get Miguel out.
Doug Brocail, a former Tiger, in fact, was a teammate of Brad Ausmus here in Detroit. They both played here for a couple of seasons. The late 90s.
Mike Maddox was the pitching coach for a long time in Texas. He's now in Washington, D.C. with Dusty Baker.
He was there forever, wasn't he?
He was, and he did a nice job. Brocail's doing nice work as well this year.
1 ball, no strikes on Miguel Cabrera. No score, bottom 3, 2 on, 2 out. Sliced foul, 1 ball, 1 strike.
first pitch was a breaking ball, and we told you that Perez likes to throw breaking balls in situations where there's runners in scoring position. But after a visit from the pitching coach, he went to a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. We'll see if he goes to another heater, if they feel like that's the best way to attack Miguel. Going inside.
Ooh, pickoff throw, that was close. Odor had to jump over Kinsler. One and one on Miguel Cabrera. Ball high, came in with a fastball up.
Yeah, he wanted that one inside, but he overthrew it. And a lot of times when you overthrew it, your body, when you overthrow a pitch, your body gets out there ahead of you, and your arm kind of lags, and therefore the ball stays up in the strike zone.
Martinez on deck. Miguel Cabrera came in at .390 lifetime against Texas pitching. That's low, and now it goes to 3-1. Justin Verlander had to pitch out of a jam of his own back in the top of this inning. A couple of singles to get it started, but he picked up 2 strikeouts and a fly ball. Fly ball right field. Ball slicing away from Mazzara, and that ball will land fair. It's a ground rule double. The Tigers will get a run in. Kinsler will score. Miggy drives one in with a 2-bagger. It's 1-0 Detroit.
Miguel Cabrera is just a tremendous RBI man. This ball is not necessarily a strike. It is off the plate, but Miguel expands his strike zone when there are runners in scoring position and slices one down in the right field corner. And the fact that it bounced out of play, it cost the Tigers an extra run.
JV appreciates the support. So a 2-out single by Kinsler got it started, then a walk, and now a double by Miguel Cabrera. Here's Victor Martinez. It's funny how this game can change on plays that are so close. That final pitch to Martinez that was just off the plate that looked like strike 3. It kept the inning going.
That's right.
And then it was Cabrera who sliced one to right to drive in a run.
And Victor batting .317 with 5 homers and 18 driven in. They've got a base open. I wonder if they will really attack Victor Martinez in this plate appearance or simply walk him and go after Justin Upton, who is in the on-deck circle.
Perez has gone 2-0 on Martinez.
And the first 2 pitches to Martinez weren't even close. Justin's kind of thinking along those same lines right now. They're going to pitch around Victor to get to him.
That'll miss inside, 3-0. So it appears Martinez on his way to drawing a walk that would load the bases for Upton. And you know what Upton's thinking in the on-deck circle. Bring it on. Here's the 3-0. Low ball 4, nothing to hit there for Victor. The second walk in the inning, 3rd of the game for Perez. So the Tigers have Martinez, Cabrera, and Martinez on the bases. And this has turned into a 25-pitch inning for Martin Perez. Upton with an opportunity to provide a big hit here in the 3rd. He struck out in the 2nd. And Perez will throw with the windup here. And it's in there, strike one. Justin now 0 for 7 in the series. Strike called right at the belt, and Upton steps out of the box in disagreements. Now it's 0-2. Upton, you could tell, upset with that last call, taking his time getting back into the box. Now Perez with the 0-2 pitch. A little bit high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. .60 now for Perez. You can see it's been a 28 pitch third frame. High again, and Upton lays off. Perez pretty much breezed through his first 2 innings, but trouble here after the 2-out single by Kinsler. Just out of the glove of the catcher Wilson. Upton still alive. Verlander hoping for a little bit more support. Justin this year with 8 RBIs, couple of home runs. Here's the 2-2. High, 3-2. Well, it's about to get really interesting. Runners will be on the move. No place to put Upton. And you've got Castellanos waiting on deck. Here's action now in the bullpen. Here's the 3-2. He walked him, ball 4. And Perez wanted to know where that one was. That'll force in a run. 2-0 Tigers.
Tigers will take it. Pitched around Victor Martinez to get to Justin Upton. He got ahead of Justin. No balls and 2 strikes, and he threw 4 straight balls.
Upton will take the RBI. It's his 9th of the year. That's 4 walks now for Martin Perez.
And the only pitcher in the American League that has walked more than him is Yordano Ventura of the Kansas City Royals. He has walked 25 this year, and Perez has now walked 22.
Castellanos walked in the 2nd. Low and in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Castellanos does not walk very much. He's only walked 4 times this year. So to walk him, man, you really have to be erratic in the strike zone.
Nick is hit safely in 9 of his last 10. Had a couple of RBIs yesterday. Broken bat, popped up foul, back out of play. One ball, 2 strikes. Man, that thing exploded.
I've always wondered, someone that has been as hot as Nick has been all year long, and of course today's all about the mothers and breast cancer awareness, but man, you know, he probably didn't want to put that bat down he's been using.
No, I'm sure he wanted to use his gamer. He's got a new one now, a new pink bat. Hitters really get attached to their gamers, don't they?
Yes, they do. It gets to the point where they don't even want you to touch them. Don't even look at my bats.
Here's the 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This has turned into a really long inning now for Martin Perez. Here's his ratio, which is not all that good. He's thrown 68 for the game, but 36 of those in this inning. And a strike called. Castellanos is called out of there, and that'll be it for the Tigers. They will get a couple of runs, but leave them loaded, and we go to the 4th.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Last time Beltre was in the batter's box, every pitch down and away. Then he went upstairs with a fastball, then another really soft breaking ball to get him out in front, rolled over harmlessly to Iglesias. Nice job of executing the game plan there by Verlander. Everything away from Beltre.
And in the meantime, the Tigers have gotten him a couple of runs. And so JV goes back to the hill here in the 4th inning. And he will be facing the middle of the lineup, Beltre, Fielder, and Desmond.
And Beltre has been swinging a lot at first pitches in this series as well, just like the rest of his teammates.
Beltre hit one to the shortstop in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1.
Nice little slow bender there by Justin at 75 miles an hour.
Verlander 4 strikeouts in this game. He has allowed a couple of hits, no damage though. And Beltre backs out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Beltre doing a little dance after that last fastball inside.
He's a very animated player, whether it's at the plate or at third base.
And here's that first pitch to him. Happy feet.
He also has that thing where he doesn't like to be touched on the top of his head.
Right, right.
He just freaks out if you pat him on the head.
They say that he is just a marvelous teammate.
The 2-1.
He's a good player. We do know that. But they say that his leadership skills in their clubhouse are tremendous.
And probably part of the reason why he got an extension in the month of April, a 2-year extension. It'll carry him through the 17 and 18 seasons for Texas. And he'll shoot that one to second on 1 hop. It's fielded by Kinsler. One out.
Now here's Beltre's happy feet, and apparently Andrew Romine having a little fun with Beltre in the dugout at his expense.
He looks like MC Hammer there.
Yeah, he does. All he needs is the parachute pants.
What's he doing? Gotta love Romine.
Right.
The parachute pants. I forgot about those. Here's Fielder. Perez struck out back in the second. Fielder now is 0 for 9 in the series. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Tigers play the shift. Kinsler deep to the outfield grass. Justin in search of his 5th strikeout. And there it is. 2 gone.
Verlander has all 4 of his pitches working beautifully for him so far this afternoon. That was a changeup. But we've seen some really good curveballs. We've seen good sliders. And, of course, we've seen the life on the fastball as well. He's gotten up to 95 miles an hour.
And only Mickey Lolich has struck out more in Tigers history than Verlander. He is 2nd all time now. Passing our good friend Jack Morris. And the crowd giving Verlander a round of applause for the accomplishment.
And we have seen every last one of those strikeouts, partner.
Yes, we have. It's been impressive. There's a strike on Ian Desmond. Desmond in the ballgame, a ground out. He is 0 for 2. Verlander also leads all major league pitchers since 2006 in victories. Broke in, of course, in 05, made a couple of starts, but then came up to the big leagues for good in 06 when he won the Rookie of the Year. And then a few years later, the MVP and the Cy Young. No balls, 2 strikes on Ian Desmond. Bouncing ball to third, right there, Castellanos. His throw is off target, but the tag, and now the ball dropped by Victor Martinez, and the runner is safe.
And Castellanos dropped his arm angle, and he floated one over to first base, which pulled Victor off of first base, and Victor just never caught it.
This is his first game at first base this year for Victor Martinez. The Tigers trying to get ready for interleague play in Washington beginning tomorrow night. Victor getting some reps at first.
And Brad's going to have to use some form of rotation, whether it be with Castellanos and Miguel and also Victor, trying to keep all 3 in games, which is always tough to do, but he's got to do the best that he can.
And Brad said before the game today, pretty much Mickey, Victor, and Nick will each get 2 games. He's not sure how he's going to rotate it, but they'll all get 2 games, 2 out of the 3 there. Somebody's got to sit. I mean, that's just the way it is with interleague play right now and the way it's set up. No DH in National League parks. Mitch Moreland now with 2 outs and a runner aboard. That error, by the way, was charged to Castellanos.
It's a bad error. It's not a Castellanos' error. You think so?
You know, I kind of go back and forth on that because the ball should have been caught.
There's no doubt about that.
And the tag should have been applied. But then again, Castellanos did throw it off target. So, but that's certainly a catchable ball. I mean, that ball was just right in his glove. Without contact, it just popped out. Anyway, we'll see if Moreland can take advantage. Ooh, a little bit closer. He's got Victor dancing around there at first base. Desmond has 5 steals this year. He's been caught just once.
And Moreland shifts, nothing new for him. He gets shifted on about 85% of his plate appearances. And only 3 times has he gone the opposite way for a base hit this year. Some guys just try to hit it through the shift. And that's why managers keep shifting.
Yep, and they will keep shifting. I mean, some hitters are just so hard-headed, whether it's through ability or just hard-headedness. I mean, some just don't feel comfortable going the other way, I suppose.
I think it's a little of both. I think it's both ability and some stubbornness.
Way up and in. Snap throw back down to first.
Desmond has a huge lead at first base. I don't know if he's entertaining the thought of running or not, but he has a huge lead, and Verlander's paying a lot of attention to him. And he's now run the count to 2-0 on Moreland.
Tigers on top 2-0. We're in the 4th. A 2-out error has opened the door a bit for the Rangers. Popped him up. Left side of the infield. Castellanos is there. And that'll end the inning. No runs, 1 error, 1 man left, and 1 Justin Verlander strikeout, putting him 2nd all time in the Tigers strikeout list.
Here in the 4th inning at Comerica Park, a Pink Out the Park Mother's Day in support of breast cancer awareness. Very special guest with me right now, Penny Russell of New Boston. Penny, big day for you. She's here with her 4 kids and her daughter-in-law for Mother's Day, but she got to throw out the first pitch, honorary ball girl. Tell me about your day.
It's been exciting. It's been fun. Tiring, because I'm still kind of tired, but it was fun. We got to go down on the field at first and watch everybody practice, and then got to relax for a bit and then throw out the ball, and then Sanchez surprised us and gave us his suite. So everybody got to come up here and watch the game, and it's just been exciting.
Well, as far as Mother's Day go, it probably doesn't get much more special than that, right?
Better than this, no. Especially right now. It's been great. It's been a good day.
Now, you told me you just finished your chemo. You've been battling your cancer since November, but you're done with your chemo. How does that feel to have that behind you?
That feels great, because I did not do well with the chemo. So I'm glad I'm done with that, and then I have surgery coming up, and then we go from there. So,
Penny, we thank you for this. Enjoy your time with your family, and happy Mother's Day.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tigers.
A very special Mother's Day down here. Mario, Rod, back up to you guys for now.
All right, Trev, thanks very much. What a great story, and our best wishes to Penny and her entire family. Looks like she's battling through it, and that's a good thing.
She's got a wonderful smile on her face.
That helps. Perez going back to work here. 1 out, and he's facing Anthony Gose. Gose struck out in the 3rd. He'll be followed by Iglesias. Tigers got a couple of runs in the third. They lead 2-0. And Ghost looks at a strike, got him looking, and that is the second time he's fanned in this game.
Martin Perez has 5 strikeouts in the contest so far, and 4 of the 5, the hitters didn't swing the bat. So 4 strikeouts looking.
Iglesias bounced out his first time up. There's a chopper to first base. Tough backhanded play there. Moreland hits the pitcher covering for the out.
How about the glove work there from Moreland? Are you kidding me?
Mitch Moreland picking Hannah Crinan.
Whoa.
Nicely done. The Tigers go 1-2-3 here in the 4th inning.
This was nice. The 1-800 call Sam call of the game. Runners on second and third a couple of innings ago. Verlander went to his strikeout pitches against the Shields and Odor. And then a real soft contact on changeup off the bat of Mazzara. And Justin Verlander pitched himself out of that jam. How about that?
Well, JV, as a result, is enjoying a 2-0 lead as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Numbers on Verlander: no walks, 5 strikeouts.
Tigers have enjoyed a lot of success this year when they have scored first in a game. They have not lost a game in which they have scored first in. They are 10-0 and looking good today with their ace on the mound, Verlander.
Elvis Andrus is starting things off here in the 5th inning. Andrus checks his swing. Did he go? He sure did, says Chris Guccione.
That's one of those numbers. If you look across the board, teams that score first on any team, they pretty much win 65–70% of the games this year.
Here's the 0-2, and Andrus pops it up. Shallow right field. Kinsler hauls it in. Andrus now 1 for 2, 1 gone. Now Bobby Wilson. Tigers rotation has certainly needed some strong efforts outside of Jordan Zimmerman, who really has been the only consistent Tiger starter this year. And some length as well, because by and large, aside from Zimmerman, they not have gotten deep into games, which has taxed the bullpen. The bullpen had a rough day yesterday. Here's the 0-1 to Wilson.
And I think many thought coming into the year that they would get quality innings out of Verlander for sure, and Zimmerman, and also Anibal Sanchez, along with the other guys that make up the rotation. But you just knew what you'd get out of your top three.
1-2. Well, Justin turning things around today after a bumpy start his last time out, allowing 7 runs in 5 innings in Cleveland. Here's the 1-2. Still having trouble figuring out, Rod, how the Tigers could have lost 6 straight to the Indians this year.
Well, they've been outpitched for sure. A couple of times by Kluber, then a couple of times by Josh Tomlin, who they just really can't figure out at all. And the Tribe's bats woke up against the Tigers. They got some really big hits in RBI situations, and you could pretty much flip the script. The Tigers did not do any of that positive stuff that I just mentioned that the Indians did in those 6 meetings. And we're talking about a Tigers team that at the beginning of last year, they won the first 10 of 11 games against the Indians.
It was a one-sided series between those two clubs, and now it still is, but it's the other way. Wilson, meanwhile, has moved the count to 2-2. Low, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Really no reason for Verlander to waste 5 pitches on Wilson. He's the kind of guy that you want to make him put the ball in play, one of the first 3.
The 3-2. Bouncing ball foul, third base side. 2 hits for both teams. In fact, the Rangers got their 2 back-to-back to lead off the third. They were looking to be in good shape. First and third, nobody out, but then Verlander picked up 2 strikeouts and a fly ball.
And Verlander looked like the Verlander of a couple of years ago in that particular pitch sequence when he got the 2 strikeouts and the pop-up to get out of that jam.
Swing and a miss. He left the strike zone.
.92 upstairs that Wilson could not lay off of. Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. And Verlander touched 95 here today. He's done it a couple of times. As low as 75 with a really slow breaking ball that he threw to Adrian Beltre the last time Beltre was in the batter's box.
Delino DeShields with 2 outs. They pretty much played DeShields straight up, with the exception of Castellanos in on the cut of the grass at third base. Guarding against his speed. Here's the 1-0 pitch. DeShields, great athlete in high school. In fact, thought about going to LSU to play baseball and football there. Man, that's a big time program in both of those sports. But signed professionally instead. The baseball route. 3-0 the count. Verlander has Rougned Odor waiting on deck. And he's gone 3-0 on the number 9 hitter. That's in there, a strike, 3-1. .75 down for JV in just the 5th inning.
Really the only stressful inning was the inning that he had to pitch out of that 2nd and 3rd no out jam.
It'll be a walk, 2 out base on balls.
That's the first walk of the game issued by Justin.
Well, Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device. And now just go down and get the Fox Sports Go app. Download it and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Fox Sports Go. It's that simple. So with 2 outs and a man on, here is Rougned Odor. Ball 1 to Odor, who has a strikeout and a pop-up in this game.
If you're Verlander in this particular situation, you don't want to forget about DeShields at first base because he can steal a bag. But really, your concentration has to be on Odor. There are 2 outs, and you need to make sure you make a quality pitch to him because he's been wearing out Tigers pitching in the series.
Now JB wants the new baseball. Odor has really provided them with a nice option at the top of the lineup since he was inserted into the leadoff slot. .339 from the leadoff position with power. That'll get away from McCann and advance the runner. May get into the dugout, and it does. McCann tried his best to stop that ball. Wild pitch.
McCann, last couple of games he's played, he's been flying all over the place. Was that a couple of nights ago he took a tumble in the Tigers dugout?
He did. Game 1 in the series. Just flipped right into the camera well, actually. Now a chance to get a run for the Rangers. Odor has 7 RBIs in his last 11 games, 4 home runs. Now he's gone 3-0. Nomar Mazara waiting on deck. Tigers this year have allowed 62 out runs, which is second only to the Yankees in the AL. Trying to avoid that here. In there, a strike called. Odor just 22 years old. The guy on deck is just 21. Popped in the air toward left field, shallow. Here comes Upton, and that'll end the inning. No runs. They get a walk. They leave a man. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. The park on Mother's Day here today, raising awareness for breast cancer research, and all the players decked out in their pink, even some pink accents on the uniforms this year, which is a new touch. Kinsler leads it off in the 5th inning. Tigers 2 runs on 2 hits, and the Rangers no runs on 2 hits. There's a bouncer back up the middle. Andrews ranging left. Quick release is in time for the out. Nicely done. 1 gone. That'll bring up J.D. Martinez.
That's one thing that the Texas Rangers have done very well this year. They've only committed 11 errors as a team. They are the top defending team in the American League as we speak, so they have no problem catching the baseball.
J.D. shoots one right to the third baseman Beltre for out number 2. 2 quick outs. That'll bring up Cabrera. Martin Perez has really only had 1 bad inning, and that really started with a 2-out single.
And he really threw a pitch to J.D. Martinez that could have very easily got him out of the inning.
Yeah, instead Martinez took a walk on a close, real close 3-2 pitch. Then Cabrera followed with a double to drive in a run. Later, a bases loaded walk scored another. Two and one on Miguel Cabrera. Low ball 3. Waiting on deck, Victor Martinez. Fouled away 3-2. Perez was 10-6 with the Rangers in 2013. They signed him to a 4-year contract that November with club options that would keep him in Texas through 2020.
Got himself a nice friendly deal.
Yeah, but then he had the Tommy John surgery the very next year and has had to come back from that. 3-2 is whistled foul.
That really is the one surgery where it doesn't scare general managers. The guys that have had the Tommy John surgery, even some of your players that have to have it, you know you're going to miss them for a year, but you know they're pretty much going to be as good as new when you get them back.
Well, the Tigers weren't scared off for the Jordan Zimmerman Tommy John that he had years ago. Again, the 3-2, and he went around. Strike 3 called. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th. No runs, no hits, nobody left, and we're on our way to the 6th. Park, it is the Pink Out the Park in-game salute where fans held up cards of those, and Rod and I certainly were part of that as well, those that have been touched by cancer. And it's an insidious disease, Rod, there's no question about it, but this is doing a lot to raise awareness for it.
It really does, and you just marvel at what the Tigers do here year after year, inviting some of the other moms and grandmothers onto the field and just really honoring them.
Wonderful day here at the ballpark, a lot of pink. And we are thankful to be part of it as well. So as we go now to the 6th inning, Tigers holding on to a 2-0 lead. And it's in there for a strike on Nomar Mazara. 2-3-4 coming up. Mazara, Beltre, fielder. 0 for 2 strikeout fly out for the rookie outfielder. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
First pitch was a real nice curveball that was tightly spun up there for strike 1. Then a changeup to Mazara at the bottom of the strike zone. And for strike 2, Justin could go a ton of different ways now. He can go way off the plate inside just as a show me pitch, or he can simply elevate one, see if he can get swing and miss. They're going to try to get the swing and miss up top.
1-2 the count. Justin coming in was 9-5 with a good ERA, 2.90 against the Rangers over his career, and he has faced some really potent offenses in Texas. Not to mention pitching in their ballpark as well. Swing and a miss. He got him chased that time. One away. Time for a game break now with Matt Shepard. Yeah, it's a pretty good 1-2 punch, and it appears now, Rod, that Michael Brantley's starting to get his swing back.
Yeah, we got him going, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did. Adrian Beltre takes the ball inside. He's 0 for 2.
Hit him.
Didn't hit him.
Barely.
So it was more than inside. It nicked him. It'll put a man on now for fielder. Where'd it get him?
Shirt, I believe. Nope, just a little bit off the forearm.
Well, we hope Fielder doesn't wake up here. He is 0 for 10 in the series. Fielder earlier this year reached the 1,000 plateau in RBI, so he joined his dad Cecil. They both reached that plateau. The other father and son combination to ever do that in the big leagues?
Bonds.
Pretty easy. Barry and Bobby. And that is ripped to first, and it's going to be a double play. Hard hit ball, and Victor made a whale of a play at first base.
Victor didn't want to just go tag the bag. He just had to put his hands on Beltre. Check him out. All he had to do was go back to the bag. Nah, I think I want to touch him.
Don't touch him on the head. Is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet. More than you expect for less than you imagine. Gorgeous afternoon here at the ballpark today, and the Tigers holding on to a 2-0 lead, trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Rangers. Martin Perez going back out there, and he is facing Victor Martinez to lead it off. Then Justin Upton and Nick Castellanos. Tigers got a couple of runs in the third. RBI doubled by Miguel. Bases loaded, walk to Upton. And JB's done the rest. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Martinez. Perez has retired 7 straight. And Victor spun his wheels in the batter's box there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Perez came into the start having allowed just 2 earned runs in his previous 11 innings, and really again today just the 1 bad frame. The Tigers got 2 in the third. The base on balls were an issue. Drill to left field. Desmond going back. He'll reach at the wall to make the catch.
Nice play by Desmond. Hey fans, don't forget to join us again tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Detroit, when the Tigers take on the Nationals in Washington, D.C. And we switch things up a bit in the broadcast booth. Mario will join 97.1 The Ticket, and Dan Dickerson will join us on Fox Sports Detroit's broadcast booth at 6 p.m. Don't miss it.
Well, that'll be different.
Absolutely. It'll be a little different for you. Absolutely. You and Dan.
Dano coming over to the TV side. Of course, he's had plenty of experience calling other sports here on Fox Sports Detroit. And I'll be over there with Jim Price in the radio booth. 1 ball and no strikes on Justin Upton. He swings and misses.
And you have had a lot of experience doing radio.
Yeah, there's Mr. Dickerson. Yeah, 7 years in Anaheim with the Angels and 8 more in the minor leagues. So it'll be fun to get back to the radio side. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tigers have not had a base runner since the bases loaded walk to Upton back in the 2-run third. Swing and a miss.
Perez has a great changeup, but one of the things that he has not been able to do a lot of this year is get to the changeup, because he's always been working from behind in the count. But when he does get ahead, he decides to throw that changeup. There are a few left-handers that have a better one than he does, and they're going to go right back to it again.
Full count now, 3-2. Perez already has 4 walks. And make it 5. It's a base on balls, the second one in a row for Upton. Bring up Castellanos. He's also going to bring Doug Brocail out. Brocail runs to the mound. Of course, the pitching coaches this year have 30 seconds to have that little chat with the pitchers. Brocail bolting out there. Wilhelmsen starting to warm up now in the bullpen for the Rangers. See what Castellanos can do here. Walk and a strikeout.
Talking about the 5 Perez walks in this game, it's the second time this year he has walked 5 in a game. He did it his second start of the year against the Angels.
Drill to right field. Ball hit well. Mazara back to the wall to make the catch.
This Texas Rangers defense plays really deep. I thought that ball Victor had a chance to get over Desmond's head, but he ran it down the warning track, and Mazara made that play look routine.
Meanwhile, Castellanos goes to the opposite field with authority again. 2 gone. Here's James McCann. Look, Nick rather looks like he wants to give that bat away.
He just
Take
did
it out. Wow.
It's got no hits in it.
Now, what if that ball had gone over the wall?
He probably would have kept using it, but I guarantee next time he goes up there, he's going to have over-reliable again.
Upton draws the throw.
How about those kids getting themselves a nice pink bat?
What a great thrill. What a great memory for that young man.
A lot of mothers out here today enjoying some baseball.
On the outer edge, a strike on McCann. Fly out, ground out for James. He is 0 for 2. And now 2 for 25 on the season. He's not going to let go of that bat for a long, long time. On the ground to the third baseman. Beltre doesn't get the force safe. Upton beat the throw. Looked routine, but Upton was barreling down the line.
And Beltre had a difficult time of getting the ball out of the glove and getting it to Odor. Odor simply got out of there as quickly as he could after he got the relay from Beltre, but it appeared that Upton did beat it.
And we'll see if they want to challenge. Jeff Bannister still has his video people looking at that play to see if they want to challenge or not.
And I guess they really have nothing to lose. He was safe.
So he will not challenge, it appears. Well, Chris Cuccione now is going to explain something to Brad Ausmus here.
Yeah, they must have been having some difficulty with their replay system over there or something, which was the reason why Jeff Bannister stepped out of the dugout to see if he could buy a little extra time before they got things up and running again. Just speculating, but that appeared to be what it was.
They have given Beltre an error for juggling that ball.
That would be his first of the year.
It is. So we'll see if the Tigers now can take advantage as Go stands in. Anthony fouls it off 0-1. This season, lefties were batting just .185 against the left-hander Martin Perez, and he's gotten Ghost twice on strikeouts today.
Both looking too.
Up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Each ball club with an error now. Tigers on top 2-0 in the 6th. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Ghost. Iglesias would be next if Anthony keeps it going here. Perez ready with the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ghost goes down on strikes for the 3rd time in the game. Tigers strand a couple of batters. Castellanos making a fan for life, handing out a souvenir bat. And then the young man posing for a pick. Good form.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Bárbara, feliz Día de las Madres. Te quiero mucho.
Happy Mother's Day, Mother. I love you.
More happy Mother's Day wishes from our Tigers to all of their moms, and our wishes as well to you. Happy Mother's Day from the ballpark today. And so far it's been a really good afternoon. 2-0, the Tigers have the lead. We're headed now to the top of the 7th. Justin Verlander had a nice rebound outing today from that last start against the Indians.
And the ball has been coming out of his hand nicely all afternoon long, whether it be the fastball that he's topped out at 95 with, or the assortment of breaking balls he's thrown. He's had his best breaking ball for me. All three here collectively today. That would be the curve, the slider, and the changeup. All three have worked today.
Desmond is 0 for 2, reaching on an error in his last at bat. Popped it up foul into the seats. Not too many base runners today against Verlander. He did hit a batter in the 6th, barely nicked Beltre, but then fielder lined into a double play. Hammer to left field, right at Justin Upton. 1 out. Hey, Tuesday, May 17th, the Tigers taking on the Minnesota Twins at 7:10 p.m. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Ian Kinsler bobblehead. For tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Here's Mitch Moreland. Ball 1 to Moreland, who is 0 for 2. Verlander, like Martin Perez, has given up just 2 hits in this game, both singles, Andrus and Wilson, and both in the 3rd. That represented Texas's best scoring opportunity. 2-0 the count. Perez has pitched well enough to win today, but he needs his offense to give him some runs, and Verlander has other ideas. Now 3-0 on Mitch Moreland. Elvis Andrus waiting on deck. Three and one. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Moreland, and it's popped up foul. This will head back to the seats. Moreland last year had a career year when you consider he was injured much of 2014. Bounced back nicely last year with a career high 23 homers, 85 RBIs. And not only that, but he gives you got first base. They can pick it a little bit.
They got a good offensive team. We talked about that a little earlier. Moreland, Mazzara, Odor, Andrus, Prince, and Beltran.
Strike call.
That's a delayed reaction there from Chris Guccione, home plate umpire.
Verlander with 8 strikeouts.
It's a four-seam fastball that Moreland must have thought was low. I guess Mr. Guccione had to think about it for a moment.
And that's why it was borderline. But it caught the strike zone. Here is Elvis Andrus. That's in for a strike. The 0-1. Did not go. Two out, nobody on. We're in the 7th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Andrus pulls it to third just by a diving Castellanos. 2-out hit as Andrus retreats. Third hit given up by Verlander, and the first since the 3rd inning. Andrus has 2 of them as you look at the breakdown on JV.
And Justin missed with his breaking ball location that time up in the strike zone. One of the few times he's missed his location. And Andrus found a hole on the left side of the infield.
If your mission is to keep it in terms of your pitch count to 15 or fewer in an inning, Verlander has done that all day. 17 the most so far in one frame.
Of the 101 pitches that Verlander has thrown so far today, 53% have been off speed. And he's had a really good off speed pitch today. That is something else that Verlander has been able to do. He's been able to spot that four-seam fastball on the black, inside and outside, at 93 miles an hour.
Justin Wilson, left-hander, warming up in the Tigers bullpen. Even though Verlander has been in command in this game all day long, all it would take is one swing of the bat for the Rangers. But they have been stymied on 3 hits. Way outside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Bobby Wilson. Single strikeout in this game. Tigers outfield playing deep on Wilson. Now the 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Wilson got himself a really good fastball to hit right down the middle, even though it was 94 miles an hour. He was trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
DeShields, the number 9 hitter, waiting on deck. Andrews draws another throw. Tigers off to the nation's capital after this one today. They're headed to Washington, D.C. 3-game series coming up against the Nats. Runner goes. Ball high. Throw to second. Tag. Not in time. Close play.
Pretty good exchange here by McCann to the throwing hand. He throws accurately, but he throws high. And then by the time that Kinsler reaches up and gets the tag back down, that allows Andrews to get that left hand on the bag.
Second steal of the year for Andrews. Here's the 3-2. Off the inside part of the plate, he walked Bobby Wilson. That'll put 2 men on. And now Delino to Shields. That is only Verlander's second walk. His other walk was to this batter right here, to Shields, so it's based on balls coming toward the bottom of the lineup. Tying runs are on now. Up and in to DeShields, who has to bend out of the way.
Yeah, Rich Doobie going to have to make a visit out there and see what's going on with Justin.
He had retired the first 2 batters, line out, strikeout. Then a single and a walk. Now he missed badly here to DeShields. Verlander now at 107. He's thrown as many as 118. That was his 10 strikeout start earlier this year in a loss to the Cleveland Indians, 2-1. It's a strike on to Shields. 1-1. Delino batting .219. Not too many scoring chances today for the Rangers. One and two. So now Justin has him set up for his 9th strikeout if he can get it. Crowd trying to give him some support. Here's the 1-2. Rougned Odor, the top of the order, waiting on deck. Verlander trying to get McCann's attention. Now finally the Tigers catcher runs out to the mound. DeShields 0 for his last 12. We'll see if JV can finish him off instead of dealing with Rougned Odor. And again the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Best fastball of the afternoon thrown by Justin Verlander at 96 miles an hour.
JV with his 9th strikeout of the afternoon. It comes in a huge spot here in the 7th inning as they strand 2. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at the ballpark. And Mario and Rod back here on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of our Tigers moms out there. And Justin Verlander trying to make it a happy Mother's Day, and so far he's been really good.
Oh, he's simply on point this afternoon. Some of the best stuff we've seen him with this year. His fastball was firm, 96. That last fastball he threw, but he had some good changeups, curveballs, and also sliders today. He's been very good.
Now, on the flip side of that, Rob, the Tigers offense continues to struggle. They have a 2-0 lead here this afternoon, but they just have not been able to get a whole lot going against the left-hander.
Well, I think they may be panicking a little bit against left-handers. They've struggled against left-handers overall this year. They're 1-5 against lefties, but they've done enough so far here today to secure a win if their bullpen can hold out. So let's hope they can do that. Then bats will still, they'll wake up again.
Yeah, the Tigers desperately need a win here today to break the losing streak they are on. Here is the game summary. Verlander, 7 innings, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts, which is his 2nd highest total this season. Meanwhile, Martin Perez, not all that bad either. 6 innings, couple of runs, 7 Ks. And Miguel Cabrera, 1 for 3 with an RBI in this contest. Got a well-signed Windows pitching change as the Rangers go to the bullpen. It's Tom Wilhelmsen.
Wilhelmsen off to a sluggish start this year. ERA is over 8 in the 13 games that he has been in. He does have 7 holes, and he's walked more than he has struck out.
Jose Iglesias will lead it off for the Tigers against Wilhelmsen. First one is low and outside, 1-0. Iglesias has put the ball on the ground a couple of times. Up and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Wilhelmsen, former Seattle Mariner. Two and one now on Iglesias. Will be followed by Kinsler and then J.D. Martinez. Fly ball right field. Omar Mazara is under it. 1 out. We'll celebrate Polish American Night Friday, May 20th, when the Tigers battle the Tampa Bay Rays at 7:10. Special ticket packages include a Detroit Tigers Polish American Night t-shirt. They're available exclusively at tigers.com/Polish. Here is Kinsler, in a single, and really his hit could be the biggest of the game because it came with 2 out, nobody on in the 3rd, and that started the 2-run rally. Now it's 0-2 on Kinsler. Popped up, first base side, headed back toward the dugout, and about a row back. Mother's Day present there.
And a nice hug.
Had him lunging at that pitch, and he popped it up to the second baseman Odor. 2 gone. Wilhelmsen was acquired from Seattle, as we mentioned. That was the Leonis Martin deal that happened in November. And there were times when we saw him pitch with Seattle, rather, we thought, man, this guy's got electric stuff.
Yeah, he was closing some games for Seattle a year or 2 ago with a firm fastball that was getting up in the mid-90s with that same kind of breaking ball that he just threw there to Castellanos, J.D. Martinez.
Wilhelmsen saved as many as 29 in a season for Seattle. Bender there, he swings right through it, 0-2.
When you see a breaking ball come out of a right-hander's hand, and if you're JD, you recognize the pitch, you're looking for it to be down and away. You're not expecting that breaking ball to back up on the pitcher and end up inside, and that's exactly what happened on that last delivery.
Action in the Detroit bullpen. Mark Lowe, the right-hander, Justin Wilson, the left-hander. That'll bounce in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Justin Verlander has been outstanding in this game. JD got only 5 swings and misses in his last start. He had 20 today.
Really? What a difference a start makes.
That is a telling stat. I don't believe he went. He did not. 3-2. Now Wilhelmsen ready with the full count pitch. Right back up the middle. Odor has it on a hop. And JD is out. It's a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, hits, errors, nobody left. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Summary, the third frame today seemed to be the pivotal inning. Justin Verlander pitched out of a jam after 2 were on with nobody out by striking out a couple and getting a pop-up. Then the Tigers, they scored 2 on a bloop double down the right field line off the bat of Miguel Cabrera, and also a bases-loaded walk played to JD Martinez, and that was all with 2 outs.
Well, it's another Wallside Windows pitching change. Justin Wilson, the left-hander, comes out of the Tigers' pen.
He's done nice work out of the Tigers' bullpen, primarily pitching the 8th inning. That's why he has the 8 holds. 15 strikeouts against 2 walks for Justin Wilson.
And he's going to have to deal with the top of the Rangers lineup. It'll be Odor, Mazzara, and Beltre. 1, 2, and 3 for Jeff Bannister. Rougned Odor has had a slow day, strikeout, flyout, pop-up. He came in 5 for 10 in the series. And Odor looks at a strike. JV ended up throwing 111 pitches in this game. And that was his second highest total of the year, tied for his second highest total.
Threw 118 one start this year, didn't he?
He did. Cleveland. Odor this year batting .297 against left-handed pitching. One and two. I guess, Ron, when general managers try and construct teams, they would like a nice balance of youth and veteran players. And when you look at this Rangers team, they have some guys that have been around, but they've got a nice infusion of youth as well.
They do have a nice mix, and it starts with this guy in the batter's box, who's very, very young, just 22 years old, and the kid in the on-deck circle. And you have veterans like Beltre and Prince Fielder. It's a good group they've assembled.
Beltre will hit third in this 8th inning. 2-0. Tigers have the lead. Wilson with the 1-2. Back up the middle into center. Base hit.
He's the guy that Verlander had been able to keep off the bases all afternoon long, but he's on now, and he's the straw that stirs their drink. No debate about that.
He took a really wide turn around first base. So now we'll see what Wilson can do against Nomar Mazara.
He's had a rough day. And Verlander had his number, punched him out twice. Once on a fastball, the other time on a breaking ball. But he can also get you a couple of runs in a hurry.
Drives this one towards center field. Goes on the move. Not going to get there. Base hit. Odor is on his way to third. He is in there standing up. And the two lefties in the lineup have come up with base hits to start things off here in the 8th. It's going to bring Brad out of the dugout. They've had Mark Lowe warming up, the right-hander. And so now with Beltre due up, that's going to be it for Justin Wilson, who faces two batters, gives up singles to Odor and Mazara. We've got a pitching change here at Comerica. We'll be back. Was honored here at the ballpark. Of course, part of that 2006 team that won the American League title and got to the World Series. And of course, as we flash back, here is the Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window. Pudge Rodriguez had himself a career, but what he provided to this franchise was immeasurable.
Wonderful player, and when he decided to sign the contract with the Tigers in 2004, it pretty much changed the way that baseball will be played in Detroit for the next decade.
When you look at where Pudge is on the list of catchers all time in home runs, over over 300 in his career. Piazza leads the way at over 400.
All those guys in the Hall of Fame with the exception of the big wheel, Lance Parrish.
There's a drive to center field and a base hit to get a run in. Beltre wasted little time against Mark Lowe, and all of a sudden now it's a 2-1 ball game.
That is 3 consecutive pitches and 3 singles right back up the middle off the bats of Texas Rangers hitters, and that's the first inherited runner this year that has scored while Lowe has been on the mound. He had been perfect in stranding the 5 other runners that he had been given.
3 straight hits for the Rangers. They trail by 1 now. Here are the numbers on Mark Lowe.
.338 ERA, 6 holds. He's pitching in his 12th game. The league is hitting just .200 against Lowe, who had a couple stops last year, one in Seattle and also one in Toronto.
Still nobody out. Drew Stubbs is the pinch runner. He's at second base. And here's Prince Fielder.
Now, these situations like this is where Prince tries to beat the shift.
Little chopper slowly toward first base. Martinez will tag the bag for the out. Runners will advance.
Gotta love that.
One gone. Now a base hit could give the Rangers the lead. They have trailed all day. Desmond is 0 for 3, reaching on an error by Castellanos in the 4th.
Yeah, the last 2 hitters, they swung at the first pitch. That would be Beltre and also Prince Fielder. Desmond has done a lot of that in the series himself, so be careful here with your first pitch. Don't make it too good.
And a little looper into shallow right field, and it's going to be caught. Martinez will throw to the plate. Stubbs coming home, and he is safe at home plate.
Ooh, Stubbs can really run, man. Goodness gracious, can he run?
That's where the pinch runner has made a difference in this game. Stubbs has blazing speed, and he just beat it on a shallow ball to right field.
What a throw by J.D. Martinez. You cannot make a better throw to home plate. He got behind it. He timed it perfectly. Took very little time getting it out of the glove and on its way to home plate. One hopper right to McCann, but Stubbs so fast, able to get that right foot off and over the plate before the tag was applied. Stubbs was a track star when he was in high school.
Tigers are looking at it to see if they want to challenge, and they waved it off.
I guess the only thing they were wondering whether he did get that front foot on the plate, because it did come up once he started his slide, but it looked like the left knee got on the plate before the tag was applied by McCann.
Yeah, it could be deceiving.
The foot comes up right there, but that knee got there before he was tagged by James.
Mitch Moreland will not bat with first base open. So those runs are charged to Justin Wilson.
And just like that, Justin Verlander gets a no decision today.
2 runs on 6 hits now for the Rangers. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Tigers. The bullpen unable to hold a lead late this afternoon. Here comes ball 4 to Mitch Moreland. They'll try and get Elvis Andrus. Intentional walk.
Elvis Andrus.
Hey, follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Here is Elvis Andrus. 2 on, 2 out in the 8th. Rangers have tied it. Oh, look out. Andrus is drilled by the pitch, and down he goes. He's waving off the training staff. Says he's all right. You could hear that all the way up here.
This fastball high and tight on Andrus, and it hits him right off the left elbow. Andrus had nowhere to go. right there many a times. And it hurts.
I can't even imagine what that pain.
It hurts. Man, he's trying to get the feeling back in his arm right now.
So they continue to look at Andrews to see if he'll stay in the game. He was waving them off initially, but you can tell he's in a lot of pain right now. It's going to load the bases for Bobby Wilson. The inning started with back-to-back hits by Odor and Mazzara. RBI single by Beltre. Sac fly by Desmond tied the game. Andrews will remain in the game with an elbow right now that is barking beyond belief. They are loaded up for Wilson. Single strikeout and a walk in this game. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Beltre, along with Moreland and Andrews on the bases. Fly ball in the air toward left. Back goes Upton. Track. Wall looks up, and that is going to be a grand slam. Home run.
I mean, really? Bobby Wilson?
Unbelievable. The number 8 hitter in the lineup hits a grand slam off Mark Lowe. It just kept carrying. Well, that's his first career grand slam.
Tigers, at least the back end of their bullpen had been so good all year long, but touched up here today for a 6th spot here in the top half of the 8th inning.
Man, does that hurt. Here's a drive to left field. Upton going back to the track, to the wall, and that ball is gone. Back-to-back home runs. Delino DeShields goes deep. And it's 7-2 Rangers. They had been able to do nothing offensively all day, and now a 7-run 8th.
It's the 8th time this year. The 8th time this year the Texas Rangers bats have scored 5 or more runs in a frame. No other team in baseball has done that more than 3 times.
And that's it for Mark Lowe. Another pitching change. We'll be back to Comerica. was awesome, and all of a sudden the Rangers offense explodes against the Tigers bullpen. They put up 7 big ones here in the 8th, and Brad Ausmus is forced to go right back to the bullpen. This will be the 3rd pitcher in this inning alone. It's going to be Kyle Ryan coming on.
And Ryan, his fastball tops out at about 90 miles an hour. He'll also cut the fastball. He has a curveball, also a changeup. Having a decent year. And 321 earned run average, just 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Ryan has been pitching to a lot of contact.
Rougned Odor is batting for the 2nd time in the inning. He led things off with a single. Justin Wilson came on to face 2 lefties. They both picked up base hits before he departed. 2 balls and no strikes on Rougned Odor.
And one of the biggest decisions made in this particular inning was the fact that Jeff Bannister pinch ran for Mazzara, his number 2 hitter, and he wouldn't have scored on that ball that was hit to the outfield that JD threw in.
Kinsler can't get that, and that's another hit for Odor.
So that turned out to be a positive move turned in by the skipper of the Texas Rangers.
Well, here is Drew Stubbs. He was the pinch runner and now gets his first at bat.
Jeff Bannister all smiles today.
You know, it's a little move like that, Rob, that you really don't pay attention to, but it's a good point. I mean, without Stubbs, they don't tie the game.
Nope, they don't tie the game. Tigers are still leading 2-1.
That is the 9th hit for the Rangers.
They've got a good offense. There were some good offenses in baseball. We've seen quite a few of them, but this Texas Rangers team may really take a back seat to none of them. 8 home runs hit in this series. Tigers have hit only 1. They've treated Comerica Park like it's a home game for them.
And like it's a very hitter-friendly ballpark.
It's a team that came in struggling offensively on the road, a team that wasn't playing good baseball on the road. But they've awakened here in the last 3 days for whatever reason.
Here's the 2-0. Low, 3 balls and no strikes.
It wasn't that long ago when the Tigers used to just dominate the opposition when they rolled into Comerica Park.
That's a good point.
Last couple of years, it just has not been that way.
Yeah, the Tigers, for a stretch of 3 or 4 years, would win 50+ games at home here.
Easy.
That's in there, a strike. If the Tigers go on to lose this game, they will drop to 5-9 at home this year.
Right. They were under 500 last year at home. Well under 500.
7-run 8th inning here for the Rangers. It's the 11th man to bat in the inning. Here is Ryan's 3-2. Nope, he's going to go back to first base. Back-to-back homers by the 8 and 9 hitters. A grand slam from Bobby Wilson, a solo shot from Delino DeShields. And he walked him. Tigers can't get it out now. We'll put 2 on.
Here's what I was talking about regarding the Texas Rangers before Ryan came into the game. 8 times this year they've scored 5 or more runs in a frame. And Baltimore has done it 3 times along with the White Sox. They are the pursuers of that 5-run inning.
Beltre had an RBI single. First man that Mark Lowe faced. He singled in a run. And that drops in for a strike, 0-1. Beltre's also been hit by a pitch in this game. Swings and misses 0-2. Justin Verlander was fabulous today. 9 strikeouts through 7 innings of work. He will receive a no decision. Low ball 1. Beltre now with 21 RBIs on the year. That's good for the team lead. Fielder on deck. Rip foul.
Can you imagine when they get Fielder going and they get Chew back? And Desmond, their left fielder, is really not producing the way that he could produce. He's a 20-homer bat.
Not only that, but you put that group in their ballpark. Tigers today have been out hit 9-2. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Beltre is out. Inning is finally over. 2 big shots in this 7-run 8th. Bobby Wilson, a grand slam, made it 6-2. Delano DeShields made it 7-2. Presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Well, it's not going to get a whole lot easier when you consider that Steven Strasburg is waiting for the Tigers tomorrow night.
And he's having a good year. He is 5-0. His earned run average is 2.36. He's already punched out 47 and walked just 9, so it's not going to get any easier. But Anibal Sanchez took some strides in getting better his last time out. He had a few strikeouts and didn't walk nearly as many as he had walked in his previous outing, but he's thrown the ball well, in my opinion.
Drew Stubbs will stay in the game and play in right field. Tigers have a lot of ground to make up now. They're down 7-2 here in the 8th. Cabrera, Martinez, and Upton. Middle of the Tigers lineup checking in here. The first one rides inside from the right-hander Sam Dyson.
Yeah, Dyson, 97 with that first pitch fastball that he threw to Miggy.
Miggy looks at a strike on the inside part of the plate. 1-1.
Dyson throws that hard, but it's not straight. That last fastball, two-seam variety, had some nice tailing action to it in the mid-90s.
One and 2 on Cabrera. Double RBI for Miguel today. 5 hits in this 3-game series against Rangers pitching. Here's the 1-2. There's a base hit to right field. Miggy goes the other way with a leadoff single.
Miguel is such a smart hitter, and we talk about his baseball IQ all the time. He got 3 fastballs from Dyson. He didn't flinch at any of those because he knew he was going to get a breaking ball at some point in time, and he just waited for it. And he picked the right hole to hit it through because they were overshading him. Up the middle was the second baseman, Odor.
So here is Victor Martinez. A walk to his credit today, 0 for 2 otherwise. That was just the 3rd Tigers hit of this game. Popped him up. See if it stays in play. It's sailing back toward the dugout, but it's going to be caught. 2 feet from the railing. Beltre hauls it in, 1 gone. The single by Cabrera here in the 8th inning is their first hit since the 3rd. Here's Justin Upton. He's walked a couple of times, once with the bases loaded. Tigers got their 2 runs back in the 3rd. And right down the middle it comes, strike 1. 96 from Dyson there.
Their closer, Tolleson, he doesn't throw very hard, but they've got a couple of setup men that have mid-90s fastballs in Diekman and Dyson.
Fouled away, 0-2. Rangers bullpen this year, their ERA, as you look at Frankie Rodriguez start to warm up, the ERA for the Rangers pen is 4.64, which is about a run higher than their rotation. Here's the 0-2. Frankie Rodriguez hasn't pitched since May 1st in Minnesota, so that's why he's warming up. Here's the 1-2.
Yeah, when you've dropped 5 straight to a closer, not going to get a whole lot of work.
So regardless of the score, they've got to get K-Rod in the ball game tonight or today. Tigers had lost 5 in a row coming into this one. They were looking good through 7. There's a foul ball, third base side. 1-2 the count stays on Justin Upton. Mentioned Strasburg tomorrow night for the Nationals facing Sanchez. Fulmer gets the start on Tuesday against Joe Ross. And then Zimmerman Scherzer on Wednesday. That'll be a good matchup.
Yes, indeed. That should be a good one, too. And both Zimmerman and Scherzer coming off of losses.
You see what the Cubs have been doing to the Nationals?
Cubs, man. Unbelievable.
Their run differential coming into play today was a plus 101.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that. It's crazy.
100 runs more than their opponents.
It's ridiculous.
Again, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He dusted Upton, and there are 2 gone. There you go. The Cubs at 23-6.
That's amazing. That they're there. They are that much better than so many teams in baseball.
Joe Madden's got him rolling. Here's Nick Castellanos.
And meanwhile today, at least for today, the Washington Nationals are beating Chicago Cubs 3-1, and Jake Arrieta's on the mound for the Cubs. He hadn't been beaten in a long time, since Cole Hamels beat him.
Was that what, 1972?
No, it was last year.
Oh, okay.
When Cole Hamels threw a no-hitter against the White Sox right before he got traded to the Texas Rangers in July. It's his last loss, Arrieta.
Castellanos to walk, a strikeout and a flyout.
Castellanos must have tweaked something trying to get out of the way of that first fastball thrown by Dyson. Took a long time to get back in the box.
Ooh, a shot back up the middle into center field.
He didn't tweak it too bad.
No. And he had that black bat. He gave away his pink bat after his last at bat, and he drives one to center for a single.
He got rid of it, and he went to his old bat.
Said enough of this.
That's beautiful. He used it twice, though.
He did. He participated today.
Actually, he went up there 3 times with it.
Yeah, and that last ball he hit was deep to right field. This one a solid single to center. Here's McCann. Tigers now have 4 hits in this game. Strike 1 to McCann. James 0 for 3. Still really trying to feel his way through after coming back off the disabled list with the ankle injury. It's got to be really hard for catchers coming off the disabled list, because your primary concern when you come back is the scouting reports, getting your pitcher ready for that night's opponent, calling the game, and anything you can give them offensively is gravy.
That's a great point. And James is such a proud man and such a student of the game. You know that that's the way that he's thinking.
Here's the 0-2. Bouncer back up the middle into center field, base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third base, and they are loaded up now for the Tigers. Anthony Ghost is going to be called back here. Jared Saltalamacchia will pinch hit. So the Tigers bringing some thunder off the bench. Saltalamacchia, 6 home runs this year.
Doug Brocail, pitching coach, out there giving a scouting report to Dyson on Brocail. Excuse me, on Saltalamacchia.
The clock is at 0. Brocail still out on the mound. Now he's chased out of there. Boy, you're one swing of the bat away from electrifying this crowd, getting the Tigers back in this game. Grand slam earlier this year for his 100th home run. That came in Pittsburgh. Why not another one? Waiting on McCann at first base, retying the shoelaces. Missed outside, 1-0.
And Jared should get himself a really good fastball to hit right here. It's going to be in the mid-90s. So if you're going to swing at it, you better be ready.
Two 2-0 the count of Saltalamacchia. Three singles for the Tigers here in the 8th, loading the bases. Saltalamacchia batting for Ghosts. Here's the 2-0. We had a rip. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He fouled it away. 2-1. Big homers this year for Slovakia. Hit one against Jose Fernandez in Miami to help the Tigers get a win. The grand slam against the Pirates. Low ball 3-1. Dyson starting to feel the collar tighten a bit.
Yeah, Rangers pitching has already walked in 1 run today. And Dyson might just walk in another one.
That is a foul ball. Down the first base line. That would have scored a couple at least. 3-2. David Rackley right there to make the call. Salty broke his bat. Well, he now has discarded the pink bat. It worked for Castellanos.
It also worked for Miguel Cabrera, who got a hit in this particular inning too after going back to his regular bat.
Talos in their closer warming up. Tigers trying to fight back from a 7-run 8th inning for the Rangers. Bouncing ball right side. Odor on the shift is in the outfield grass. His throw is dug out at first base. And that'll end the threat. No runs, 3 hits. And the Tigers leave them loaded. We go to the 9th inning in Comerica Park, 7-2. Standings, Chicago with a 4.5 game lead. The Royals 5.5 back. Tigers came in 6 out. And they were in control today. 2-0 is our score until the 7-run inning in the 8th. Andrew Romine will come in to play center field, and the new pitcher is Francisco Rodriguez.
And Rodriguez just needs some work. As you mentioned, he has not pitched since Minnesota. Pitching in his 12th game, he has 7 saves. He's blown just 1. The earned run average sits at 4.66. Fastball anywhere from 87 to 89 miles an hour. Got a nice little breaking ball and a really good changeup.
Fielder Desmond Moreland. The hitters that he will face here in the 9th inning. 7 runs, 9 hits, Texas. 2 runs, 5 hits, Tigers.
Yeah, you talked about the White Sox on top of the Central. I would think the White Sox have to be an early season surprise.
Agreed. That's down the third base line. Castellanos He'll run it down, one away.
Especially with all the drama that they had going on in spring training. But once the calendar turned to April, the Chicago White Sox have been rolling.
I was convinced that whole LaRoche deal was really going to turn them into in turmoil.
It looked that way when you had those comments coming out of your ace's mouth. That would be Chris Sale, but all he's done is backed it up. He's went on to win his first 7 starts of the year.
They've been playing well, but as we know, it's a very lengthy season.
Oh, no doubt.
That's drilled to left field down the line. It's going to get down and go to the corner.
Does anybody swing at more first pitches than these cats?
Upton digs it up and works it back in. That'll be a 1-out 2-base hit for Ian Desmond. And that's his 3rd double in the series.
That's a changeup. And that stays up in the strike zone. Desmond, he stayed on as long as possible. Hit it up right off the end of the bat.
I would love to see some numbers on first pitch swinging and where the Rangers stack up.
They've done a lot of it in this particular series for sure.
That is the 10th hit for Texas.
And Desmond, who has just doubled, he's a headliner.
Moreland takes a strike. He was walked intentionally in the 8th and then scored a run on the grand slam by Bobby Wilson.
Who?
Yep, the guy we had just a couple of days ago. Bobby Wilson.
Bobby Wilson.
K-Rod ready with the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Moreland otherwise is 0 for 3. He's had 3 hits in the series.
There he is, Bobby Wilson.
Ground ball back up the middle into center field. Here comes Romine's throw. It's going to be cut off. That'll be another run for the Rangers. Mitch Moreland, an RBI single, scoring Desmond. 8-2 ball game. All 8 of their runs in the last 2 innings of this game. Here's Elvis Andrus. Andrus was hit smack dab in the elbow in his last at bat. That loaded the bases before the Wilson grand slam. And now down he goes after fouling one off his foot.
El was just getting beat up today. The last time he got hit by a 93-mile-per-hour fastball thrown by Lowe. And this time he hits one right off the instep. Actually got him on the back side of the right knee.
Yikes.
How about that?
Oh, 0-1 on Andrus. One ball, 1 strike. Tigers in the 9th inning will have Iglesias, Kinsler, and J.D. Martinez due up, but the deficit has grown now to a 6-run deficit. Lane Hardy in the Detroit bullpen. Mentioned that Francisco, as that one got McCann. Everybody getting beat up now. Francisco had not pitched in a game for the Tigers since May 1st, and that was the not the game that Sano got thrown out at third base to end it.
I believe that was that game.
Yeah, Frankie was on the hill for that and really hadn't pitched since. Getting an inning's worth of work today. Tigers, if they lose today, will have lost 6 in a row.
Streaky team, isn't it? Win 5, lose 6.
Yeah. Here's the 1-2. 35,000 plus in attendance here today on Mother's Day. 35,406 to be exact on Pink Out the Park afternoon. Oh, got some birds on the field. Trying to slow down Moreland. Swing and a miss. Andrews is out of there.
The birds are ready to eat. Usually on Sunday this time, the game's over. And they're wondering what's taking so long. Right?
But he got any popcorn or something for these birds?
The birds like it's 4:20.
Let's go. So with 2 outs, here's Bobby Wilson. He fouled that one off. 0-1 on Wilson. Well, his grand slam was the big blow back in the 8th. He's had a big day. The homer, a single, a walk. 5 RBIs in the series for Wilson. The 0-1. Ooh, good pitch. 0-2 now on Wilson. Now the 0-2. Pulled foul. Well, we got some numbers on what you were wondering about. The Rangers have put the first pitch in play the 4th most times in the American League. So they're up there. All 4 of those teams, the top 4 teams, are in the West. It's a free swinging division.
It is.
The 0-2. Little chopper left side of the infield and through. A base hit. So Wilson having himself a day.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it is Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. The last time before this base hit that Bobby Wilson stepped in the batter's box, it was against Mark Lowe. It was an inning ago, and he hit his first grand slam of his career into the Tigers bullpen. He might want to use that pink bat every day.
Yeah, he may not give that one back. He's had a good day with it. Here's DeShields. He followed up the Wilson grand slam with a home run of his own. A line drive home run over the left center field wall, his 2nd of the year. 12 hits now for Texas.
Verlander pretty much handcuffed the entire Texas Rangers batting order for 7 innings. And Tigers bullpen, for one of the few times this year, let this one get away.
Went around. 1-1 on DeShields. Two on and 2 out. A run in here in the 9th for the Rangers. Low ball 2. After the Washington series coming up, the Tigers are going to go to Baltimore to play the Orioles for a 4-game series, and Baltimore leads the American League East.
And that's a good offensive team, especially in that ballpark.
It will be a challenging road trip. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
How many days do you get to stay over on the radio side?
I've got DC. First 3 in DC.
All 3 then.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Then I'm back on the tube with you in Baltimore.
Yeah. That allows you to get acclimated 3 times on the radio side.
Yeah, absolutely. Rolled foul, and DeShields staying alive.
JV's line not bad at all. Only gave up 3 hits. He pitched 7 innings, no runs whatsoever. Did walk a couple, but he punched out 9. But the million-dollar question is, are you ready for Jim Price?
I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready, baby.
Huh? You ready for Jim Price?
Question is JP ready for me? 2-2 the count on DeShields as he is still kicking here. It'll be fun. I got a chance to work with Jim in spring training. Had one of those games on radio there.
Yeah.
We're good to go. There's JP.
There he is.
Just ask him. He'll tell you that catchers are the smartest and best looking players of all.
Yeah, he does say that every game. Every single game that I'm listening to, he gets in that plug for sure.
Now Frankie again ready with the 2-2. Ripped to left but foul. Turned into a lengthy inning as well now for K-Rod. 22 pitches.
Well, that's why Brad decided to get Hardy up. And he does not want him to throw too many pitches. As a matter of fact, if he loses to Shields, he might just go get Rodriguez.
High pop up right side of the infield for Ian Kinsler. To the grass he goes. And that'll end the inning. However, they get one more and we go to the bottom of the ninth. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wellside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Gorgeous afternoon for baseball here in the Motor City. It was pretty good for 7 frames, but then a 7-run 8th inning. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last call for the Tigers. They will face a new pitcher. That is Alex Claudio.
And Claudio checks in his 5th game. 3.18 ERA, only 5 2/3 innings at this level.
Claudio is 24 years of age. He hails from Puerto Rico. So the Tigers will have Iglesias, Kinsler, and Martinez against the left-hander Claudio.
And Claudio not a hard thrower, as you can imagine, from that arm slot that he's throwing from. Top fastball, pretty much 85, 86 miles an hour. Throws lots of sliders. He'll cut some fastballs. He also will throw quite a few changeups. So he'll show you the fastball, but he wants to get his off-speed stuff.
Claudio was a 27th round selection back in 2010 to the Rangers.
So he's had to battle some odds.
Here is Iglesias to lead it off. Claudio lefty with a funky delivery, and he gets ahead 0-1. That'll miss inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers today have been limited to 5 hits.
I guess you have to have some kind of funkiness in your delivery when you don't throw very hard. You have to find some kind of deception.
pull down the left field line, fair ball. It'll go to the corner, bang off the wall. And to second base is Iglesias. It's a leadoff double here in the ninth. And that breaks it 0 for 15 for Iggy.
Iglesias got a breaking ball that was just spinning up in the strike zone, and he whistled it down to that. Looked like it was going to get all the way down to the left field corner, but it hit right off of the fence area down there where it kind of jets out toward left field and bounce back toward the infield.
Single run scored for Kinsler as he skies this one to right, but slicing away. Tigers got 2 runs in the third, and to this point, that is all they've been able to score against the Rangers pitching staff today. Ian trying to get another multiple hit game. He has 14 multi-hit games this year, and he's been among the league's best in that category. Fly ball right field, hit pretty good, but Stubbs going back. Runner will tag and move up as Iglesias heads to third, 1 gone. Check in now with Trevor Thompson with a look ahead to Tigers Live postgame.
That's right, Mario. A sudden and stunning turn of events here at Comerica Park will be the topic of discussion inside the Tiger Clubhouse on Tigers Live following the game. We'll also get with Justin Verlander, a heck of a game thrown by him. We'll see what he likes best about his outing today. But just as suddenly and as stunningly as this thing turned around for the Tigers in the 7th, or the 8th rather, we'll see how it turns around for them the rest of the way. It's not over yet. Back up to you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Trev. J.D. Martinez standing in. A 0 for 3 today for JD. He also has a walk and a run scored. Martin Perez went 6 innings, gave way to Wilhelmsen in the 7th, Dyson in the 8th, and now Alex Claudio here in the 9th. Slingshots one home inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. All knees and elbows from Mr. Claudio. It's fouled back out of play.
67 miles an hour with that breaking ball. 67.
He reminds me of a left-handed Pat Neshek.
Good call. It's a good call.
One and 2. That'll float in down low, 2-2.
He throws so slow. You have to literally generate all the power.
Well, Martinez is certainly capable of that. Here's the 2-2. Inside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cabrera waiting on deck. Rangers got 7 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th. You just see JD is just so off balance with that lack of velocity. And he barely got a piece of that one, trying to stay back as long as he could. 68 miles an hour on the last pitch. Little chopper to the third baseman. Beltre.
Away, D.
That'll score the run, but there are 2 outs. RBI for JD Martinez. Two gone now for Miguel Cabrera. It's an 8-3 ball game. Miggy hammers one to left field. It's going to get down foul. Just out in front of it. It's been a pretty good day for Cabrera. Single, double RBI.
4 hits yesterday, so Miggy continues to do lots of damage against Texas Rangers pitching.
Well, Cabrera now has been on base in 30 consecutive games against the Rangers. Came in batting .390 against them. Bouncing ball to third should do it. Beltre has it there. And that is going to put the capper on a 3-game sweep for the Rangers. The Tigers led 2-0 most of the afternoon, but the Rangers explode for 8 runs in the last 2 innings. And they come into Detroit and sweep the Tigers. We'll be back to Comerica Park.